slower and slower. It's 9:01. It's all right. It's okay. You're late. You're late. That clock's slow.
9:02, yeah. How are you today?
Got in a fight with a cow and the cow won. You have to go to the emergency room and get some stitches. It's not very big, but it's not here. It's not closing up, huh? No, yesterday afternoon. You know me, I didn't. Huh? Yeah, that's right. No. No.
Actually, they use that
Actually, you
super
could
glue now.
use some super glue and close it up. But you're going to have to give me a heck of an antibiotic.
Robbie. You remember the letter we got from the state saying that we're economically disadvantaged a couple months ago?
Yes.
Would you forward that to Tracy, please?
Yes, the one about, yeah.
Because
There might be some sort of
higher,
highway.
well, we got a grant and it says if we're economically disadvantaged, we get 90%, not
Right.
75.
Yeah.
That's a
They
big
never
difference.
really answered, because I think he replied and asked, and they just didn't.
Well, I sent her the original.
Tracy? Tracy, what's the self-insured fund? So we're still using the same line item? That's all right. No big deal. Just curious. Are we ready, Mr. Rakovich? All right. Can you hear us, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to call this meeting to order if we're ready? Yes. Okay. We're going to call this meeting to order of Atascosa County Commissioners Court as a regular meeting, County Court Room, Suite 203, June 13th, 2022. If you would stand with me for a prayer and pledge of allegiance, please. Father, we especially come before you and ask for rain. We plead with you and seek you. You tell us, Lord, that whatever we ask for, you'll grant, so we know you will grant it. We just need it sooner than later. So, Lord, we just especially ask you for that. And secondly, Lord, we especially ask you for wisdom as we consider the business of the county, and that we would make decisions that you would approve of. And, Lord, in Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Please slide, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Just in case anybody didn't hear it, I had this bandage on my face because I had a battle with a cow yesterday on my farm, and the cow won. And how I injured myself was incredibly stupid, and I'm not going to tell you how I did it. So, I'm probably going to go try to get some stitches after this. Naturally, I put it off 24 hours, which I shouldn't have done. So, we're in public comments. Number 3, I don't have any requests for public comments. Is there anybody that wishes to speak at this time that has not turned in a form? It's at this time that we allow public comments, not only about county issues by any citizen, but also comments on the agenda items, and that's in compliance with the state legislature law requiring that. So we're going to move forward then to number 4, Commissioner Gillespie, discuss and take appropriate action concerning new employee, Wilbur Trey Porter III, position Precinct 1 Mechanic Tech with Class A CDL, pay rate Tier 1, 44947.61 annually, 40 hours, pay rate, salary budget area 012-400-402. Physical drug test is pending. Start dates 6/13/2022. Commissioner Gillespie.
Thank you, Your Honor. Very excited to be able to get Trey Porter on our team. He has finished his CDL, so he's ready to move, and we're happy to have him on board. So I'd ask for the motion to be approved.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Gillespie, second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion or questions? And our treasurer is out also too with, I heard has COVID. And Rusty in my office has COVID. So it's not going away yet. All right, I'll always look to the treasurer to make sure the start date's okay. So we're going to move forward and call for the vote. And if there's no other discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 5, Commissioner Gillespie, discuss and take appropriate action to accept and allow the trade-in of the following: Cat 12G 1994 motor grader, VIN number 61M15320. Cat 12H 1996 motor grader, VIN number 4XM00982. Case DV210 2014 drum roller, VIN number NENTL2185. Case 621BXT 1996 wheel loader, VIN number JEE00555506, for a grand total trade-in allowance of $95,000. This trade-in will go towards the purchase of a Doosan DL250-5-US11 2020 motor grader, VIN number DHKCWLBSEL5050307. Total cost after trade-in of $74,056. Will be charged to the Road and Bridge Precinct 1 budget line item number 021-400-506. This purchase will be on the buy board bid number 597-19. Commissioner Gillespie.
Thank you, Your Honor. One correction, where it says 2020 motor grader, it's going to need to say wheel loader. It's a front end loader, not a grader.
On the new purchase? On the new purchase? So it's a Doosan DL250-5 US11 2020
Wheel loader.
Front end loader.
what?
Front end loader.
Front end loader is the correction. Anything else, Commissioner Gillespie? Is the VIN, okay?
I'm just taking a bunch of equipment that we don't use and trying to get it traded in so we can get the price of the front end loader to be more affordable instead of all the money up at once. I move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gillespie, second by Commissioner Knowlton. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Number 6, Martin Gonzalez, discuss and take appropriate action concerning appointing two new members and amending the 2021-2022 ACHC roster. The proposed new members are David Dean and Jerome Laporte. Good morning,
Morning, how are you guys doing?
Mr. Gonzalez.
So we got two new volunteers I'm trying to get approved today. David Dean comes from a background in museums and Native American history, and Jerome Laporte's been helping us out a lot, getting contacts up in the north end of the county for some metal detection. He's also been helping out the metal detection team a lot. And this heat, he's been doing a lot of work for us.
Move approval.
Motion by Commissioner Moulton.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Perez. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Number 7, Daniela Martinez. Discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. New employee Jennifer Espinoza, position entry-level juvenile supervision officer, pay rate 28000.00 annually. Salary budget area 039-400-562. Physical drug test is pending. Start date will be 6/21/2022. Good morning, Ms. Martinez.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Yes, we're still short-staffed, and Mrs. Espinosa is one that's been picked to get started. We do need more males, but we could use her as well, so I'm just asking for approval to get her hired and get her started as soon as possible.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Perez, second by Commissioner Riley. Any discussion? All those in favor, please
I have a
indicate.
question.
I'm sorry, yeah, we have a question.
Yes, have you run a background check on her?
They all get background checks
Okay,
before we come.
that's my question.
Yes, sir.
Are they completed?
Sir?
The background check's
Yes, sir.
completed? Okay. And Ms. Riggins does that, doesn't she?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Number 8, Daniela Martinez, discuss and take action on approving the purchase of 9 outdoor cameras, 1 network recorder, and 1 8-zone station mic in designated location for the total amount of $34,139.12 from Total Security Solutions, parentheses TSS, close parentheses, for the Atascosa County Juvenile Detention Center from the 2022 capital outlay budget line item 012-468-707. This price includes labor, wiring, and connectors. See attached quote for itemized costs. Ms. Martinez.
Yes, sir. We were able to get 2 quotes, one from Total Security Solution, which is the one that JJAEP got their cameras from, and apparently it's working really well for them, and that cost is way cheaper than what Guardian would cost. The cost through Guardian was going to be $41,502.30, so that's saving $7,363.18. And
It saves how much?
$7,363.18 between the two. I did have the shipping attachment with the cost of each item itemized to show what each thing would cost.
Move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Moulton.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Perez. Questions? Well, I think, it sounds like you've made a good decision to me, and we've had numerous problems with service from Guardian, so even though Guardian has much of our equipment around the county,
Yes, sir.
they have not been very responsive, so
Yes, sir.
if these people are working well over at the JJAEP, then I think that's great.
Yes, sir. I agree.
And the money is coming from where,
Capital outlay?
ma'am?
Capital outlay, and
Capital
I've got with
outlay?
Tracy about
This was approved previously.
Yes.
It is in the budget. We budgeted $50,000 for camera system. but
You
we got-
changed chairs.
We just, no, I'm sitting over there.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We appreciate your work on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I know it's been problematic. You've been having problems with it for a couple of years.
Yes, sir. I'm working on the board next.
Good.
Thank you.
Number 9 is under me. Discuss and take appropriate action concerning changing personnel title from Assistant Veteran Office Service Officer to Veteran Service Assistant. Budget line item 012-458-404. The reason for this is, and it could have come after the next item and made more sense, but what we're going to propose to the court is that Sarah Gamboa is resigning, and that we move Elizabeth Branson up to that job, and then Ashley to the position that Elizabeth is filling now. Elizabeth is to the salary that Liz was making before she received her certification. Did I say that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's the reason we need to change the title to facilitate the next agenda item.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Olton,
Second.
second by Commissioner Perez. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Now, number 10, discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. Sir, would you like to present this? And inform the commissioners of your resignation. You know, we may not accept it.
Well, as Judge mentioned, good morning, gentlemen. I did submit my resignation letter. My last official day will be June 30th. And I'd like to recommend Elizabeth Branson to fill this position. I mean, I couldn't think of anybody better. She's been here with the county for many years. She knows the ins and outs of everything VA. She's taught me a whole lot. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve the veterans of this county, but I'm moving on to the next challenge, I guess, in my life. And then, it's not goodbye, it's just I'll see y'all later for now. I'll be around. So with that, I ask the court to approve Elizabeth for the service officer position.
For the publics.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Motion by Commissioner Perez. So that takes precedence over. Second by Commissioner Riley. And for everyone and the public's information, they changed the law a couple of years ago, 3 years ago,
What was it, Liz? 3?
3 years ago, and Elizabeth has faithfully served as the administrative assistant to the VSO for how many years, Elizabeth? 10 years. And they changed the law. The law said that only veterans with honorable discharges, a Gold Star mother, which, you know, most people know what a Gold Star mother is, or you had
The spouse
a
of
spouse
100% veteran.
die in the,
No, a spouse of 100% rated veteran.
okay, a spouse of 100% veteran, even if they're still alive?
Yes.
Okay. That was all that could be a VSO, a Veteran Service Officer for the county, be certified. They changed the law 3 years ago. Elizabeth took the classes and passed, and so we have had 2 certified VSO officers with Elizabeth, and I can tell you from personal experience that Elizabeth really knows how to work the system. And I'll save the example, but she helped a friend of mine, and who doesn't even live in this county, and was being jerked around by the Veterans Office in his county, and she got in and fixed it. And so I can tell you that, and I've heard that story over and over again by people, and like Sarah said, you learned a lot from Elizabeth because she really knew how to do it. Now,
I mean,
Sarah's become very good at it too, and I don't mean to put that down, but Elizabeth is very capable at working the veteran system.
She was taking the accreditation tests and passing even before she was able to get certified, so.
Yeah. So our proposal is to discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. Existing employee Elizabeth Branson to the position of County Veteran Service Officer, Department Head, pay rate $51,507.38 annually, salary budget area 012-458-401, physical drug test not applicable, start date 7/01/2022. And we would need a motion for that,
So moved.
please. Motion by Commissioner Perez.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. The next item is to promote existing employee Ashley Okrulik, I think.
Okrulik, yes.
Okrulik.
Yes.
Position Veteran Service Assistant, pay rate 42487.05 annually. Salary budget area 012-458-404, physical drug test not applicable, start date 07/01/2022. Sir.
Ashley, you know, she's learned a whole lot. She's grown a lot since being with our office. She's attended several conferences and trainings. She sits in with us when we do Zoom training. She's really motivated to learn. You know, her brother is a veteran. She's really passionate about what she does, and I think she'd be a good fit in assisting Liz with claims. So with that, I hope you approve her.
So moved.
Motion approved by Commissioner Knowlton,
Second.
second by Commissioner Riley. Any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for
Thank you.
having a department with promotable people. I know you got the promotable person in Elizabeth already here, but I know you brought in Ashley, and we appreciate the work you've done for our
Thank you.
veterans. I know your heart has been in it, and we appreciate
It
it.
has.
Appreciate the food drive you put on for the Veterans Friday, too.
It'll be quarterly, so we're looking for volunteers for that still.
Yeah.
I'll be back to help with that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. We did vote on that, didn't we? Yes. Okay. Number 11, Roger Garcia, discuss and take appropriate action concerning adopting an order prohibiting the use of restricted fireworks in unincorporated areas of Atascosa County pursuant to section 352.051 of the Texas Local Government Code. And I would like to correct that to say sale and/or use, because we want to address in your comments both those items, okay? So it's all yours, Roger.
All right, so as you know, we haven't had very much rain. KBDI through the Forestry Service has us listed in, moderate to extreme drought. We've had plenty of fires. Tires are starting to pop, chains are dragging, so we're getting a lot of the roadside fires, and they're moving quick. They fought a fire yesterday that was 250 acres. We don't want a repeat of what we had down in Christine. So we are asking that we put a ban on some of the fireworks, and right now, based on the local government and TAC, after reviewing the paperwork, what we can ban is the fins and sticks, so bottle rockets, missiles, anything that has a fin or a stick. Now, that's not gonna stop us from having fires. It's inevitable probably. I mean, they're gonna happen, it's so dry, but.
So is that basically anything that's designed to go up in the air?
Yes and no. It's not gonna stop the cannons that launch up the big
Okay.
exploding shells. Hopefully those get up high enough, they detonate, and they come down slowly. If it's a real windy day, they probably will travel far and fast. So hopefully people are using common sense during the fireworks season. Get out there before you start popping, cut your grass, keep it low, keep water available. If you're not feeling like it's safe enough, then don't pop. But that's really what we're asking, is we put a ban on the sales and use of fins and sticks this season.
Yeah. I'd like to see, if we pass this, I'd like to see you write up a extreme warning of caution to anyone using fireworks, not just to cut their grass, but to be extremely cautious where they do it and stay away from, like you said, dry grass, dry materials, anything that could catch on fire. It's gonna be extraordinarily dangerous.
Yeah, we're gonna use a lot of the Forest Service has a lot of social media information that they put out. That's what we're gonna lean on. People are just.
So can we put that on our Facebook page?
Yeah, we'll share it.
And you'll take care of that?
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, questions, ideas?
Move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Knowlton,
Second.
second by Commissioner Riley. And the motion is to limit,
The
Say it
sales and
again
use,
for the
yes, to the sale and use of fireworks. They're gonna be allowed, but you will not be able to use bottle rockets or anything with a fin on it, like what they call missiles.
and that's only in the county because
That's in our
we don't
counties.
control what happens in the city.
We don't
so-
control what happens in cities, but for the most part, incorporated cities have their own ban against fireworks. Now, that's up to them, but we will regulate and monitor the county. So before we have the fireworks sales and the booth open, I will notify each booth of the limitations and restrictions.
Okay, is that enough?
I'd say anything with a fuse on it.
Is that enough for the minutes? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 12, Laura Pavelic, discuss and take appropriate action concerning approving the May 2022 Treasurer's Report order for publication in the local newspaper and county website.
Laura asked me to present that for y'all, to y'all for her. She, it's our monthly report that we have to post in the paper every month.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Perez, second by Commissioner Riley. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 13, Diane Gonzalez, discuss and take appropriate action to approve the Commissioners' Court minutes for April and May 2022. Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, I sent out the minutes to all of y'all, and I did not hear no complaints, so I have
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Riley, second by Commissioner Moulton. Yeah, I read these and I never find a mistake on Ms. Gonzalez. I'm gonna find one of these days before I leave.
Hurry up.
So, any discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Number 14, Justin Vasquez, discuss and take appropriate action concerning purchasing badge printer and software for new time clock system, requesting this to be charged to capital outlay, unanticipated capital need 012-468-707. See attached quote.
Good morning.
Sir.
How are y'all? We are in the process of configuring the back end for the new time clock system, and we're going to be putting 4 physical clocks out at one each at the commissioner's precinct yards. And rather than using the keypad or a fingerprint reader, we're going to be using badges. So we're going to issue badges to each road and bridge worker to be able to swipe, or actually just scan it and clock in using badges. But I want to be able to print it with the county seal, their name, and their employee number on the card, so we know, if someone loses it, it can get back to them.
So at this point, will every county employee have an ID card because of this?
No, only the road and bridge workers that are going to be clocking in on the physical clocks.
Only those doing the hourly clock in and out?
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Riley,
I got a question.
and let's get a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Milton. Question?
So it's only the road and bridge crews, not the hourly workers that clock in? and
The
out?
hourly workers will be using the web clock on their PC to clock into the new time clock system.
Okay.
But the road and bridge workers, we heard complaints from some of the road and bridge workers that they didn't want to all touch the same clock, especially with COVID and germs and without having to sanitize between each one. So we figured a badge that they would hold, not even have to touch the scanner, they just have to wave it in front of it, would clock them in.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. I do want to add that this is going to be compatible with the new financial software that we want to buy. That's
Yes.
another point in looking at it, so that it's just going to be, what's the right word, Justin? Loaded into the data will be loaded in the financial software, and there will be no more, it'll take out some of the double work.
Right, it'll be an easy export from time clock into the new financial software. It will calculate all your comp time, vacation, sick, and accrue it based on the rules that we've created.
I wanted to clarify that. And the other system we have is now, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, and it's not integratable. I guess that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
With the financial software or any other software, and the equipment's getting older and a little more wonky for the thumbprint analyzers
Yes.
and
I mean,
so forth.
it's not a very smart fingerprint reader.
Yeah.
Fingers can change over time, and you have to constantly keep up maintenance.
And you
on
won't have
those.
to do that with this one.
No,
That's
these
good.
badges are
We
simple.
appreciate your work on that.
No
We did
problem.
pass that, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 15, Brittany Van Kuren, discuss and take appropriate action concerning updating, correcting the subdivision application. Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all? Okay, so I have provided for you our current subdivision application, and then I've provided a proposed updated application, and I've highlighted the changes on the updated application. We went through, we are trying to work towards having a standardized plat submittal process. We're getting there. But in the meantime, this is just updating the applications whenever a plat is submitted. And it's, honestly, most of the updates are just the required notes that our subdivision ordinance requires to be on each plat. So that is the majority of what the changes are to the application itself.
Might add that there's a committee that's reviewed this with Ms. Van Kuren.
Yes.
It involves Mr. Rao, myself, Mr. Rakowitz, and who else? Jeff Swain. So we've gone through this as a group and nonstop.
So the committee recommends approval?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I move approval.
Well, and the highlighted is the changes portion?
Yes, sir.
It's a really
Yes.
good way to do it.
Thank
Very
you.
efficient, and I appreciate that.
Not a
'cause
problem.
People come in and they bring the new one, and we don't know what the old one said, so
Yes,
that's a
sir.
big help.
That's why I provided the current copy and the proposed copy, but without knowing them backwards and forwards, I still have a hard time picking out the differences. So that's why I was trying to do it that way.
See, we have a motion for approval. Do we have a second? Do we have a-
Second.
Second, Commissioner Perez. Any discussion or questions?
Jessica?
All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries.
What's your question? I did. A second.
Motion by Commissioner Moulton. When I asked for recommendation by the committee, I considered that a motion. And the second was from Commissioner Perez. Number 16, discuss and take appropriate action concerning updating the subdivision road tables. You
Yes,
might
sir.
want to explain to us what those are.
So we have, as part of our subdivision ordinance, we have our road standard tables. We have two different ones, one for curb and gutter roads, and then one for just rural shoulder section roads. What we are adding to this is just one note at the bottom of each one. It has been brought to the attention of the committee that we did not have any kind of requirement for a geotechnical survey when roads come into the county, nor did we have a minimum base requirement. So that was what we added with this note on these tables, that any roads constructed in conjunction with a subdivision need to be designed by a licensed geotechnical engineer, as well as having a minimum road base of 6 inches.
Move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Knowlton.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion or questions? Discussion or questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Number 17, Brittany Van Kuren. Discuss and take appropriate action concerning approving the plat for Trey Hombres subdivision on Man Road, Precinct 3.
Yes, sir. This is a very simple division. They're taking one parcel, splitting it into 3, all more than, I want to say they were all more than 3 acres, pretty close to it. No objections. They met every qualification that we required with the application, and Walt is here if you, I'm sorry, Mr. Rakowitz is here if you have any additional questions.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Perez.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Knowlton. Discussion, questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Number 18, Sheriff's Salary. Discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. Existing employee Taryn Walker, position good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hi, Matt. Major, not Matt, Major.
Either one works, Judge.
Okay. Pay rate tier 1, 45,062.61 annual, 40-hour flex program, $150 a month holiday pay, $120 a month uniform, continue 1-year agency probation, salary budget area 012-448-402, physical drug test not applicable, start date 6/11/2022. Sir?
Yes, sir. Ms. Walker has completed her 90-day county probation. She's worked with us for probably 3 or 4 years. Prior to this, she took about a 3 or 4 month break, tried something else, and then came back with us. So she's more than ready to jump up a tier.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Riley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Knowlton. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Next is new employee Ashley Macias, position telecommunications officer, pay rate tier 2, 43062.61 annual, 40-hour flex, $150 holiday pay, $120 a month uniform pay, 90-day county probation, 1-year agency probation, salary budget area 012-448-402. Physical drug test is complete. Start date is 6/13/2022.
Yes, sir. Ms. Macias has extensive dispatching experience with Wilson County Sheriff's Office. I believe it was 6 to 7 years, and she's come on board with us, and we're requesting that this item approved.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Perez.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion, questions, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Was there any, oh, there's another one.
One more,
Yeah,
yes.
you have the next one also. Number 19, Sheriff Sauer, discuss and take appropriate action to approve $626 payment to landowner for property damage during law enforcement pursuit under Section 683.015F of Texas Transportation Code. Pursuit was on May 24, 2022. The reference is to ACSO case number 22-07378C attached. And
Is there the attachments there, Judge?
do we know where we're going to take the money from,
It should come out of the abandoned motor vehicle account.
sir?
The abandoned motor vehicle account is where these
Okay.
funds come from.
Okay.
In the sheriff's department, he has a line item and he's
Yes.
got the money there, so.
And the approved amount was 626. That's, yes, that's in there.
$626 even, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do we have a motion for, I'm sorry?
Ask me a question.
No, I just asked if you wanted the line item number.
No,
Okay.
no, well, if we want to read it in the record, go ahead.
It's 012-440-750.
Good idea. Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner
Second.
Knowlton, second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Number 20, Commissioner Knowlton, discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. So I'm going to, they're all in the same account number, but they have different start dates, but I'm going to read them at the Commissioner's request, all, and I'll read the variance on each one after I read the name. So I'll read the first one complete. Existing employee Rolando Gomez, position precinct 2 foreman, pay rate 49920-00 annually, salary budget area 022-400-402, physical drug test not applicable, start date 06/01/2022. Existing employee Johnny Sanchez, position precinct 2 CDL driver, pay rate 44720-00 annually, salary budget area is the same, no drug test, start date is the same. Existing employee Juan Mariscal, position precinct 2 CDL driver, 44720.00 annually, budget area is the same, no drug test, start date is the same at 6/01. Existing employee Adolfo Rodriguez, position precinct 2 worker, pay rate 42,120 annually, salary budget area 022 is the same budget area, there's no drug test, and same start date is 6/01. New employee Ignacio Garcia, precinct 2 worker, 42,640 annually, salary budget area 022-400-402, physical drug test is complete. The start date is 6/06/2022, which is different from all the other ones I read. And, sir?
And I'd like to add that I did check the start dates with the treasurer before I put them on there, so. I'm good.
Smart guy.
A little explanation. Our existing foreman, this is what caused all of this, our existing foreman got an offer from Galveston County and transferred for more money and a better job to Galveston County, so that caused this sequence.
Didn't his wife get a job down there?
His wife also got a job.
He had to move with her, and then he was able to get a job in the
Yep.
county there?
Yep.
That's good. Well,
Happy wife, happy life is what I heard.
so,
Anyway, I move approval.
you move approval of all that I read?
Yes, second.
Okay. And second by Commissioner Riley. Motion by Commissioner Knowlton. Any discussion further? Being none, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Number 21, Commissioner Perez, discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. And you have 5. Let's do.
The first one is a transfer.
Let's do the first one
Yeah,
separately.
separate.
Okay. Position, existing employee Carlos Piedra, position transfer from precinct 1 to precinct 3 road crew, pay rate. Now you have 2 pay rates down here.
The one at the 40,000 is what he was at precinct 1, and 44 is what I'm bumping him up to.
Okay, the existing rate was 40,827.12. The pay rate moving to under the precinct 3 road crew is 44,947.61 annually. Salary budget area is 023-400-402. Physical drug test not applicable. Original start date of 05/30/2022, but transfer date will be effective 6/1.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
6/01/2022. Motion by Commissioner Perez,
Yes, sir.
Second.
second by Commissioner Knowlton. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries.
The other 5 can be done altogether. I mean, the other 4.
They sure can, can't they?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next I'll read the complete header, and then I'll notate any differences. I don't think there are any, but if we see them, we'll notate them. Existing employee, Jose Albert Hernandez, Precinct 3 Road Crew, pay rate 4494761 annually, salary budget area 023-400-402, physical drug test not applicable, start date 06/01/2022. Next employee, existing employee, Martin Castillo Jr., all numbers the same. It's changing to that pay rate, and I believe that's it. He's got a pay rate change.
That's it, sir.
And then next employee is Gabriel Rowland. Position is the same, and the pay rate is changed to the same amount as read prior. The salary budget area is the same, and all else is the same. Start date is the same. Final employee is existing employee Arnulfo Guerrera, position, Precinct 3 Road Crew, pay rate 44,947.61 annually. That's all the same. So it's all the same as the previous 3 that I've read.
Yes, sir. And I'd like to make a motion that they accept them. They all have CDLs and, or a special skill such as operating a blade.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Perez, second by Commissioner Knowlton. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Number 22, Commissioner Riley, discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel. New employee Benjamin Martinez, Precinct 4 worker, pay rate 40827.12 annually, salary budget area 024-400-402, physical drug test complete, start date 06/13/2022. Commissioner Riley.
Yes, sir, this will be a new employee to us. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Riley, second by Commissioner Perez. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Number 23, Tracy Barrera. Discuss and update on the following. A, 2023 budget request will go out on Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022, and will be due back in the judge's office by Thursday, June 30th, 2022. Individual meetings, if necessary, will be set up on the first part of July. And your intention with that, Ms. Barrera, is with you and I? There you are.
Yes.
You move around so much. Okay, so.
Yes, sir.
If any department head wants us to speak to us individually, we'll arrange separate appointments for them to go over it with us.
That is correct.
Okay. And then later we'll do the
The
joint. Yeah.
Agendas, yes, we'll post.
Okay, so individual meetings as necessary to be set up on the first part of July. The proposed budget and tax rate will be approved and on file in the county clerk's office by the end of July 2022.
And that's just the proposed rate and the proposed budget. We will still have to have our budget hearings and everything that we have to do prior to approving and adopting the budget. So I just wanted to give everybody an update. There's no motion. I don't need a, I just wanted, this is just a discussion. I want everybody to know that
All right?
things will go out on the 20th, and we need them back by the 30th. If we don't get anything back from any of the elected officials or department heads, I assume they want to keep their budget as is. So therefore, I'm not going to hound anybody. So they need to get turned in to your office by the 30th.
Yes, and I think we should also add for all department heads, please don't fill out the salaries.
Correct.
As soon as we get the numbers in, which I am hopeful are going to be better this year than in previous years past, I'm going to try to find and work with the auditor to try to find and recommend a 3% across the board COLA increase for all employees. And so please, if you have a special circumstance, an employee you feel that needs special consideration, of course those should be considered, but we could do that in an individual meeting.
Correct.
And you don't have to take that before the whole Commissioners Court. And we will take it to the Commissioners Court, and it'll be their final decision, but we can help facilitate that without having to do it that way.
Correct. And the other thing I want to point out is, if you are increasing your budget and you have specific items that you are going to be purchasing, you need to come with your quote, why you're jumping up $10,000, $12,000. I understand the cost of fuel, that's a whole different story that we're going to be looking at. But if anybody is,
Sorry.
no, you're good. If anybody is wanting to make any large purchases, they need to submit the quotes and the backup for that.
By June 30th.
Most people list their
wish list.
capital outlay and separate it into two things, capital outlay and then things that would go inside of your budget. You know, if you have a budget for radios, if you have a budget for certain equipment, then just list that, list what you're looking for, and most people put it on the bottom of the request, which is fine. If you need more explanation, you can do a supplemental page or pages as needed.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion on A? B, Atascosa County will be moving to Time Clock Plus, a new timekeeping system for payroll. Please note, all employees will be required to use Time Clock Plus. Information and training on the new system will be coming soon. Ms. Barrera.
I just want everybody to know, Justin presented about the badges earlier, but we're moving along. We're hoping to get this up and running very soon. There will be training. Right now, we're doing a test group to see how it works and make sure that all the kinks are worked out before we roll it out to everyone. But there will be training. And even if I come around every department, I'll make sure that everybody gets trained on this. And again, we've, in the past, have been kind of loose with people being considered exempt. Even if an individual is exempt, we have to keep track of their time, because if the Department of Labor ever comes in, you know, and looks at it, even though we have a handwritten timesheet, we need to be a little better in keeping record of individual working and their actual time. So this is just, it's going to be much better all the way around.
So you're going to seek even exempt employees clocking in and clocking out?
Correct. The only truly exempt are your elected and appointed officials that will not have to clock in and out.
You answered the next question that we're going to hear, certainly.
Yes. No, elected officials are not considered employees of the county. They are elected, so therefore they are truly exempt and do not have to clock in and out. But if they want to, we can set them up in there, that's not a problem.
Good luck with Commissioner Riley.
I'll put GPS on it.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good plan.
No, we're working to
I don't
make,
think we actually discussed, you and I haven't discussed putting the department heads on, but I think it's an excellent idea.
thank you.
Is this discussion only, or do you wish
Yes,
to
no,
vote
there's
on
just
this?
discussion. I just wanted everybody to know what's coming.
Questions? Commissioner Gillespie, anything?
I've already discussed most of this with Tracy before I left, so I was abreast of what's going on.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on with number 24. Tracy Barrera discussing take appropriate action concerning approval of the non-exclusive license agreement with Financial Intelligence, FI Financial Software. The agreement was presented to Trent Rowell in the County Attorney's Office for review and approval. And does that mean he has okayed it?
He has approved it. I just got the thumbs up, so,
Okay.
yes. This will be our new financial software. And we're excited to move forward with this. It's, we looked at several different softwares, and this is the best fit for the county. This company, their sister company we have with our, what is it, Judge? The IHS, the Indigent Healthcare. We have their sister software.
Yeah.
They work with LGS. They have a lot of, they communicate with Time Clock Plus. So a lot of things will be run much smoother. So this is what I'm recommending for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Perez,
Second.
second by Commissioner Riley. Questions? Again, for the public's information, this is the taxpayers' money. I'd like to say that the net data financial system we have is, what, 20 years plus?
At least, yes.
At least 20 years old. Net data no longer upgrades it. They haven't updated it for years. I'm fond of telling the net data people that on my QuickBooks business program, I have more access to data than on their system. You can't even look up anything without printing the paperwork. That's 1995 technology. And this is going to be totally different. I think we may even have the capacity to let department heads be limited to their department and go in and look up their own data.
Correct.
There will be an employee portal where they can even look up their own pay, and they can even reprint their W-2s if they need it. Don't hold me to all of that, but we've talked to 4 or 5 different people, but this is going to be light years better than what we have. And NetData is trying to push us into buying a company they bought that does financial software, and they want all of us off of the old system because they don't want to maintain it anymore. But their new system, at last time we talked to them, didn't even have one customer in the state of Texas.
Correct. And
These people have dozens and dozens, so.
yes, and this, just to date how old our current software is, it is a DOS-based system. So if anybody remembers a DOS-based system, that will tell you how old this.
I'm old enough.
So,
Yes. So, we have a motion and a second to approve this purchase. Any other questions, discussion? Being none, all those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Number 25, Tracy Barrera. Discuss and take appropriate action to improve the purchase of 3 WeBoost Office 100s to increase the cell signal in the sheriff's office and jail area. The total estimation from Advantage Communications is $5,884.39. This is an unexpected need for the sheriff, was not budgeted for. Requesting this be charged to capital outlay. Unanticipated need 012-468-707. Ms. Barrera.
this was presented to me, and Justin, if you want to explain the details on this, I'll give the floor to him.
At some point during the construction of the new addition to the jail, there were some things, obviously a new roof was put on at the time, and back in the new jail addition in the admin office areas, there is barely any signal, and usually the sheriff will try to get a hold of his people in the building with text messages because everyone's always constantly moving around and rarely at their desk to answer the desk phone. So back in the admin office in the jail, around dispatch and Captain Benavides' office, and even in the admin office area of the sheriff's office, the cell signal is not great. You get one bar or none. And so these boosters are gonna mount antennas on the roof, go down into the building, and then have a receiver there within the building so that they can actually have good enough cell phone service.
Move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Knowlton,
Second.
second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Number 26, Trent Rowell, discuss and take appropriate action concerning the contract with Rakowitz Engineering and direct the county judge to sign. The county attorney has reviewed and approved the contract. Mr. Rowell.
This is an updated contract with the Rakowitz Engineering firm. When they do reviews for us on a case-by-case basis, so we have basically two engineering firms that we use, and if one of them's conflicted out or we have an overflow where one of them can't get to it, then we can give it to the other one. This is, again, on a case-by-case basis. The contract needed some updates in a few other areas, but it's all been reviewed and approved.
So,
Motion by Commissioner Perez,
Second.
second by Commissioner Knowlton. So this is just basically, in the event we ask him to do something, we don't pay anything unless he does anything, right?
That's right.
So now I can ask you to do what I asked you to do.
We had one from like 12 years ago, but no one knows where it is. It was really old, so.
So this one, we know where it's at.
So do we have to pay you for past bills if we don't, if you can't find your contract?
No, we do
Never mind,
not.
that was, just ignore that one.
Specifically
That was just,
negotiated that.
that was not a good business remark. All right. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. And Mr. Rakowitz, we do appreciate all you do for us. You're always available, and we appreciate that. Number 27, it's under me, Judge Hurley. Discuss and take appropriate action concerning personnel, existing employee, Brittany Van Kuren, position rural addressing administrator, pay rate $25 an hour, salary budget area 012-472-402, physical drug test not applicable, start date 6/01/2022. I'm going to read this information item that is on the agenda, and everyone has this available to them, but I want to read it into the record. The current rate of $16.50 will increase $8.50 per hour to the new rate of $25 per hour. This compensation is for the additional responsibility she has taken on this year. The $7,405 cost of this increase will be transferred from the county attorney's budget. I like that. This covers the salary, retirement, and taxes. If approved, the county auditor will submit a budget line item adjustment. And these additional responsibilities include subdivision management, help me, water, floodplain management, and we are also working hard on Ms. Van Kuren to become a full-time employee, and this amount will still allow us to move her into a full-time position on the 1st of May, and where she's not being paid too much for that full-time position. So that, we addressed all of that, I believe. Go ahead.
I only had one question. Did the county
Yes, sir.
attorney agree to this?
Yes, I would have
County attorney is so glad to get rid of subdivision application. Now, it's still gonna come to you, but she's gonna do all the original vetting. Yes, and then the final one will come, will come to you for approval. Yeah.
I still have to sign off on it, but
Yeah.
I don't have to do the
But you don't get all the initial calls.
Move approval.
That's why you're smiling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have written her out to check myself, but yes. The county attorney, as we are aware, I am not the county attorney.
We know that.
And so she has,
You can notice it in Brittany's usual fashion. She's gone through everything, changed all the applications, tried to update everything, and that's in her.
yes.
Yeah.
Believe me, it's much smoother, better process.
Move approval.
Motion for approval by
Second.
Commissioner Knowlton,
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Wiley. Yes, ma'am?
Okay, so, reason, obviously, I know we're discussing it, but the reason the county attorney's budget is going to cover this is because the work was in that office, which was transferred to her, which is why they, have generously offered to cover the expenses. Now, there was some question on her current rate of $16.50, but regardless of the rate, it's going to the 25, and these numbers are going to cover everything that needs to be done for this. So I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Did you let the county attorney know you're doing this, Mr. Rell? Good. I know that you're so happy to get this done, and we are too. It's better, it's more streamlined. Listen, it was all over the place 8 or 10 years ago, and little by little, the county attorney stepped up and took this over. We redid the subdivision regulations back about 6 or 7 years ago, and they still, no matter what you do, there's something that you miss. And little by little, the county attorney has just assumed the responsibility for it. This is a good change. And it doesn't require a lawyer to spend their time on the initial purposes of this and support it. So we have a motion and a second. Did we vote? No? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 28 is an item that is on the agenda because it's not because I'm recommending it, it's because I'm totally neutral on it, but I have been pushed into it. So I just said, I'm gonna let the commissioners decide. And that is adding Monday, June 20th, 2022 to our holiday list. That means this year for the Juneteenth holiday. Because there are many, and there's some other counties listed in here that all have adopted that. So I'll leave it totally up to the commissioners. I do not have an opinion on it. I appreciate the holidays we get. I will say, though, that we tend to be in the mainstream with 12 to 13 paid holidays. What we do now is we have 12, and we have a 13th sometimes if New Year's Day falls on a Thursday, sometimes we will take a 13th holiday, that's just an example, and do that Friday because most of the people aren't here anyway. And so occasionally we've gone to a 13th. This would be a possible 14th holiday. So we do 12, sometimes 13. I think this year we've only got 12. And this would be a permanent add, though, and strictly up to commissioners. Like I said, I'm absolutely neutral on it. I know it's unfair for me to dump this on you, but I don't have anybody else to dump it on. If you want to postpone it, we can postpone it, but it's coming up pretty quick, this one. What?
It's next Monday.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I propose we take no action.
Sir?
I propose no action.
Okay, your motion is no action?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion for no
I'll
action.
second that.
Do we have a second? You second no action. Is there any other discussion? Then all those in favor of the motion, please indicate by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Was that a for, Commissioner Gillespie? For the motion?
Yeah, it's kind of breaking up. I'm not hearing everything, but I know that it's been, we're not gonna make a decision, is that correct?
That's right. You're voting not to make a decision if you vote aye.
Okay, so we're gonna bring it up at the next meeting, is that what we're gonna do, or what?
Maybe. to the judge, he brought it up. Throw that one right back at you.
That's what I think.
I,
There's no meeting before that, and then it would be on the next time you make,
do what?
there's no meeting before that, it would be on the next.
Oh, it'd have to be, it'd be when we discuss the holidays for the following year. It won't come up again until,
Isn't that part of the budget process? Do we do
November.
that in the budget process?
we usually do it in November.
Okay.
Anyway, the motion is to take no action. That's really not a postponement. Specifically to answer your question, Commissioner Gillespie, his motion was to take no action. So that's not a postponement, so there's no need to bring it up at the next meeting. Robert's rules. Okay? Okay. So we did vote, and we voted aye not to take any action.
Exactly.
We're going to move on to number 19, discuss and take appropriate action concerning approving the interlocal agreement between Atascosa County, Frio County, Karnes County, and Wilson County for the Atascosa Area Rural Public Defenders Program, AARPDO, that's a new name, and direct the county judge to sign. Agreement has been reviewed and approved by the county attorney. I just want to real quickly go over the cost to the county so that we know. The county's already endorsed and passed participation in a 5-year grant from Texas Independent Defense Commission establishing a public defender's office. We went into an agreement with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid to manage it. Wilson County, on a scale of 1 to 10, they're at 10 with unhappiness with it. I'm at about an 8.5. And we've gotten full confirmation with Commissioners Court passing an agenda item in support of discontinuing our contract with Trolla. That includes Karnes, Frio, Wilson, and you gave me one here. And so we are moving forward. The contract with Trolla is complicated, and actually, when we did a contract, we read all the things they were supposed to do, and we understood that. But if we'd read the termination clauses very carefully, they are a jumbled jargon of extreme legal, not just complexities, they're in conflict with each other. They're not well written. And Mr. Rowell and I have been going over and over this with Trolla, and we are negotiating an out of the contract for us earlier. And they are now, out of a complement of 16 attorneys, they only have 6 hired. They are not getting the job done in our courts. They have not been able to hire them. A big reason is, number one, they have a union in Laredo, and lawyers are forced to join a union, which is a very unusual thing for lawyers to have to do. Number two is their pay has been extraordinarily low. In this courtroom at Commissioner's Court, we've heard testimony from the DA and the county attorney that they can't hire an attorney for less than $70,000, $75,000 a year, and that's a beginning attorney. And the pay rate with Trolla was $50,000 a year. They've been able to hire almost nobody. And what we have negotiated with TIDC, and what I'm asking you to approve in this contract, well, actually what I'm asking you to approve in this contract, I want to tell you what the cost is, but you're not approving the cost at this point, but it will essentially have to be approved later. So what we did was we increased the overall grant by $168,000 from, I've been working on these numbers so much they're fuzzy to me, the revised budget is $2,046,396. That's an increase of $168,291. and virtually every bit of that is going to add one employee, and the rest is going to pay raises so that we can hire people. What I'm asking you to pass today is a agreement that creates an interlocking governmental entity between the 4 counties, a legal interlocking a government entity, but it is an extension of the 4 counties, which means we retain whatever protections the government has. It means we retain the tax-free status. It means we retain all of the rights and privileges that a county government has in operating. But it will be an extended entity from the 4 counties, and it will be run and governed by a board. And this board will then hire a chief PDO. Then it will hire then that chief PDO will start hiring attorneys. We will try to transfer all the attorneys that are with Trolla right now that want to transfer, that have done a good job, in other words, that we would want them, and try to make sure they all have a guaranteed interview in the transition. They've been very nervous about this, so we've tried to reassure them. So what we're asking for is, in 29, is to approve the interlocal agreement creating this entity. This is step 1. We have to do this first. Every county will be doing this. Wilson County's already passed theirs. I will be going to Karnes and Frio to explain this to them. They've asked me to. And I'm going to take the numbers to it and answer any of their questions they have. But they have been willingly participating in this, and they have been eager participants. We're not going to have a problem with them. They just asked me to come explain it to them. So I will be doing that for the other 2 counties. So I'm asking you to approve this interlocal agreement between the 4 counties establishing it'll be a new name, the Atascosa Area Rural Republican Defenders Office.
Rural Public.
Sir?
You said it wrong, Rural Public Defender.
I read it wrong. Rural Public Defender's Office. We have a motion by Commissioner Gillespie to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Knowlton.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Or maybe it'll allow you to explain it
It's okay.
further. As I understand this whole process right now, this is fully funded by grants, is it not?
It is not fully funded by grants. That's a very good question, and I didn't cover that. We pay 33 1/3%, and here's my numbers. All of the percentage of payment of the grant is broken up by the number of court cases. Of the court cases, both misdemeanor and felony cases, this does not include capital cases, because capital cases are outside the purview of this. They'll still be handled with the grant that we apply for every year with Lubbock. But non-capital cases, 100% of them, Atascosa County has 47.9% of the cases. Wilson County, 25.97%, Karnes County, 11.7%, Frio County, 14.24%. So the 33 1/3 match we would have to pay would be $326,823. I don't know that there's been a year that we've budgeted less than $600,000.
Okay, so this is already,
Yeah.
That's
So
really-
our match is going up slightly based on that $168,000 increase, based on our percentage, but it's very minimal. And this is, even though the grant is a 5-year grant, TIDC intends to renew it every 5 years. They want this to be a permanent thing. And it's not only saves the county money, it potentially can give better representation to any indigent defense needs. So for Commissioner's Court, it checks off 2 boxes. It gives better service and it saves money.
okay, that was
So
my question.
we're just gonna make it work better. Did I answer your question
Yes, sir.
properly, sir? Any other questions? Commissioner Gillespie? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. What you just approved in number 30, discuss and take appropriate action concerning appointing 2 board members for the Atascosa Area Rural Defenders Office, AAR PDO, and authorize a vote for 1 at-large member. And how that will work is this, and I have a recommendation for you, which you can change any way you want. This is totally up to you. But the guidance for board members from TIDC is they prefer retired judges, perhaps a defense attorney, perhaps, and a commissioner is totally acceptable to them. They just don't like to have judges on this board that might be hearing cases brought by the employees of the board. So to reach that, and Judge Jackson has recommended it, and for continuity's purpose, Judge Jackson and I are willing, and you would not be approving Judge Jackson, you'd be approved. You have 2 to approve plus an at-large. So I'm going to recommend myself. I can continue after I retire on this board. We haven't set the terms yet. The board will have to do that, but they'll probably be either 2 or 3 year terms. And then I'm going to recommend Commissioner Gillespie, because he's been attending every meeting. He's gone to Austin with us on to meet with TIDC, and he understands the system going forward and has put a lot of time in on it. So I'll talk about the at-large in a minute, but I would like us to resolve which 2 members. So we're doing 2 members for Atascosa, 2 for Wilson, 1 for Carnes, and 1 for Frio, which kind of represents the percentage of the business that they each have in it. So I'm asking you to approve myself and Commissioner Gillespie or someone else at this time. What I'm trying to do is get the contract approved in each county and get the board members approved, and then that way we can form this board in early July, and then we can take TRLA up on their goal to terminate the contract early, and we can move forward with taking it live 1 August.
So
Make a motion
Yes, for you and Commissioner Gillespie. Yes.
Hey, listen, I don't plan on staying on this thing for life, and it doesn't pay any money, so I just want to see things go well. I don't want it to see it dumped on a new county judge and a new program, although if it's a 3 year term, I don't know if I want to spend 3 years on it, but I want to take the first year and help see it move through, get the people hired, and get it through running smoothly. I mean, leaving Commissioner Gillespie on just fine, but I just want to speak for myself. I'm willing to help any way I can. I really believe in this program. We worked hard at getting it to where it is, and we can take it the rest of the way and make it really work well. And Judge Jackson's already picked his 2, and it's going to be up to Frio and Carnes what they want to do. But we have a motion for approval.
I'll second that.
And second by Commissioner Riley. I just want everybody to be clear. I'm not trying to do this because I want to do anything. I'm not trying to get myself in a permanent, non-paying job from here on out. I just have been so involved in this, and so has Judge Jackson, that we want to see it through at least the first year after this one. Any other discussion or questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. On the at-large, the way the contract reads on the at-large is that, and this sort of even outs the fact that Frio and Carnes don't have the full voting power on the board that Wilson and Atascosa have, but to be fair, so we picked 1 at-large. That'll give us our 7th member, and we really need an odd number for a board. I'm recommending it be retired Judge Donna Reyes. She is highly respected. She was a former defense attorney. She's never been a prosecutor, but as she sat on the bench, if you followed her, she was straight down the line. She was neither pro-defense or pro-prosecutor. She has the connections with St. Mary's Law School to hire people. She is extremely wise in her legal knowledge. She's not, actually it's kind of good. She's actually got some concerns about the PDO and the way it's been working. And I met with her, and she's agreed to take the job if the counties will nominate her. So we have 1 vote toward that. So if she gets 3 votes, she becomes the at-large member. And I'm recommending at this time that this Commissioners Court use our one vote to cast it for Judge Reyes to be our first at-large member. Or somebody else if you prefer.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Knowlton,
Second.
second by Commissioner Perez. All questions? All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries. I'm sorry to make this a long explanation, but I have many hours invested in this, and it gets complicated, especially the contract negotiations with Trala. Okay, and number 31, discuss and take appropriate action concerning the appraisal district financial report for the year ended December 31st, 2021. We have Michelle here. Would you like to, I sent you an email and asked you for explanation on payroll, and I did not intend for you to have to come, but we are pleased that you came. I'm sorry you're so long down in the agenda, but we had already written most of it, and so we put you here, and I apologize for the long time.
Not an inconvenience at all. I'm
So
happy to
my
explain.
question was, anything else you want to explain to me? My question was that you have a rather large increase in pay, and I would ask you to break it down and let us know what you're doing.
Okay, well, and you're referring to our audit, our financial audit, and so there's no increase in pay in the financial audit. You're
No, I'm not
looking,
referring to the audit. I'm
you're-
referring to the sample budget that you sent out.
well, sir, you referred to our financial audit, and that's what's on your agenda.
Yep.
Do what?
It's the appraisal district financial report, the audit, is what you referred to in your email. And the page you referred to is our end-of-year audit on page 6.
She's right.
So that's what I can address, and I'd be happy to do so.
Your question had to do with the proposed budget, as I understand it.
Well, this actually says financial report.
And the email said, I bring to your attention to line 6 labeled personnel services, referring to our financial audit, stating a 12.4% increase, and that's inaccurate, and I'd be happy to explain it.
Well, I apologize for wasting your time, and I take the blame for it. What we were looking for, what I was looking for was an explanation of a 12% increase in wages.
Okay, and that's gonna be inaccurate, as you should have gotten a budget letter, or it may have not gotten to you yet. The board just met on Tuesday and proposed an additional budget, and I am going to be planning professional meetings with yourself and your auditor and your board of director to discuss that before our public hearing. Our public hearing will be in July, I think the 21st. But if you want me to answer your question referring to the page you're referring to in my financial audit, I'm fully prepared to do so. Because I think there might be a misunderstanding in that, because you had put 12.4%, which is exactly what's on page 6 of my financial audit from last year, showing a 12.4% increase in personnel services. So I'm prepared to explain that, because apparently, according to your email and the page you referenced and sent me the attachment, was this document. And that page 6 of our financial audit is the governmental accrual basis of looking at all of our financing. So it takes into account unrealized pension and payments that are made prior to the first of the year. All of our taxing jurisdictions have to pay their first quarter pro rata before December 31st. So that is an unadjusted amount of, building depreciation, and your county audit should look very similar to this. And since we're on the same pension plan, your pension and personnel services on the unadjusted amount should have been very similar. But on page, I believe it's 18 of my financial audit, you'll see that we actually had a reduction in our personnel services, and we were under budget by $52,061, and, in that line item, and then other services and fees was 65,110 that we were under. We have refunded to the taxing jurisdictions this year by form of credit over $117,347.07. And last year, we refunded $167,392 that we did not spend in our budget, whether it was for lack of personnel, which has been the primary cause. Our biggest portion of our budget is personnel, since we only provide one service. So lack of personnel, as well as people who have left or retired, and we didn't have the expense of health care and other things like that. So just a short purview there of what your question was in your email regarding the document that you referenced. We have not had that type of increase. That's before you back everything out from, I believe it's GASB 34, correct me if I'm wrong, but GASB 68 and GASB 34. There's two GASB laws that require us to start with a governmental accrual basis and then back it out to an actual cash basis.
Well, thank you very much. Again, I apologize for my mistake, and we'll look forward to getting the other information whenever it comes out.
Okay, and I plan on setting a meeting with you and your county treasurer so that we can go over that in great detail.
That sounds great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time today. We're going to the regular session of Atascosa County Commissioners Court will now recess in order to convene an executive session per Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.074 to discuss personnel matters and potential litigation with the county attorney. So we are going to recess this meeting at 10:27 a.m. for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we will reconvene in executive session, and then we will come back and pick up the rest of the agenda. So we are recessed at this moment for executive session. 11:13 p.m. That's probably, yeah, that's right, by the clock, by the phone, 11:13 p.m. And continue with agenda item number
32. 33, sorry.
Oh, I got my pages mixed up somehow. Let me look on yours. On 33? Yeah, discuss and take appropriate action concerning discussions in the executive session. Mr. Gonzalez, would you like to speak to the Atascosa Historical Commission item?
Yes, sir. So, we're just requesting to remove or member Marie Levy, from not only the Historical Commission, but from the COG Committee and as the County Historic Preservation Officer.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Knowlton, second by Commissioner Riley. Discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
I've never missed a Commissioners Court meeting. I've never left one early. But I'm gonna go to the urgent care center, and we've only got a couple of items to dispose of. So I'm gonna leave, our senior commissioner is Commissioner Perez, but he's asked Commissioner Knowlton, who's better with the rules than him, to complete the meeting. And if there's no objection, I'm gonna go ahead and excuse myself. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Item 35, discuss and/or take appropriate action concerning the following 2022 budget line item adjustments or budget amendments for the following. See attached. These have been published. I'm not going to read them, but I would like a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Item 36, discuss, review, and take action to accept and/or approve any invoices and payroll. Where's Tracy?
Invoices have been presented, everybody's reviewed and signed. We have no live checks and no payroll today.
Need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve all bills and stuff, and invoices.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. There are no reports. Item 37, that's going to be in the next Commissioners Court hearing. Item 38, comments from Commissioners Court. No action can be taken. The next regular Commissioners Court meeting is set for Monday, June 27th. Does any commissioner have any comments they'd like to have addressed? If not, we are adjourned at 11:15.